The streaming. Delay. No, that was the first we start check, no? So just refresh or close that again on the same link. Then no, the link is the same because it is my channel, no? So this one is now on live. No, not that. Good morning, friends. I hope whatever he told you in Malayalam was good about me. Right? So, as he said, I'm an optometrist and ocularist. I brought about 5 technologies to India. I work in US. Of course, I go back and forth. On appeal of Dr. Abdul Kalam, I started coming back in 2004, and since about 1996, I've been pioneering specialty work, you can say, because that time nobody was doing artificial eyes. So I got myself trained in Moorfields Eye Hospital, London, and then we started this prosthetic departments. I trained people like Shankar Nethralaya, Elvin Prasad, Narayan Nethralaya, Singapore Eye Research, a lot of places. So far I have trained about 39, 40 students, ophthalmologists, optometrists. Of course, now I don't train because now there are so many other people who are, carrying the torch forward. Then, of course, I introduced scleral lenses for corneal issues. Then orthokeratology. I think he explained everything. If you Google search my name, you will see a lot of other things. Uh, the idea is to give you inspiration that you can also do it. Okay, if I can do it, you can do it. So that's the whole idea of me coming and giving talk is to ignite your minds. You should have some interest. Some of you will definitely pick up something. Everybody has a different liking, and if you like some subject, then try and go deep into it, and you can be master of that. So coming back to myopia management, uh, if you go in any school nowadays, about 20-30% children are wearing glasses. Even in this class, if you see, about 20%, 30% people are wearing glasses, right? So wearing glasses is not a problem, okay? But high myopia is an issue. We call it pandemic. Um, there was one paper from Brian Holden Institute, Australia, which talks about by 2050, the 50% of the world's population is going to be myopic. which is very large number considering the morbidities of myopia. Morbidities of myopia means what can happen if there is a high myopia, like cataract, glaucoma, retinal detachment, maculopathy, and those are sight-threatening uh, diseases. To prevent that, see, what is the future? Whatever you decide today, whatever actions you take today, that is going to decide your future. So children are our future. You are also our future, but now you have already grown up, so nothing can be done. But now that you know this can be controlled, this can be altered, this can be prevented, so we should upgrade our knowledge because you are in the forefront of the eye care, right? You are the first one who encounters the up to the patient, and then you decide, you do all the investigation, everything, and then the ophthalmologist will decide what's to be done. But since you have chosen to be an optometrist, this is your ethical and moral responsibility to keep yourself upgraded with the knowledge and help your patients accordingly. So this is the now everybody knows what is pandemic, right? So this is also, we call it epidemic. So this is after this COVID, 2 years sitting at home, this has triggered much faster because all those kids who are now going through this phase are showing high signs of myopia. Myopia at an early age is a big danger. If it happens after 13, 14, then it is little less because progression is going to happen till the age of 18 to 20. So even if it increases by zero point 0.5, it is not much. But if it starts, less than 13, less than 12, then it is very high. So now there are a lot of gadgets coming up in the market because of this myopia. This is one of the gadgets which I was talking about. This is screening gadget. So this is, you don't have to go close like we do investigation in our OPD. We have to go real close. This gadget works from 2 meters. So it is fast screening. If I move the gadget, it will give me whether the child needs any refractive correction, whether he has amblyopia, he has a divergence, convergence, whatever. Of course, then you can take that and then go into details. So we are talking about axial myopia because that is what is going to be troublesome. A regular myopia is doesn't cause much of a stretch and stress on the eyeball, but axial myopia will, because if you see in the screen, the eyeball actually gets stretched, and because of that, it gives complications of retina and other diseases. So this is a very bold statement that I'm making. Single vision glass is equal to myopia progression. For you, this may be shocking because we have been prescribing single vision glasses to everyone, right? Whether it's a kid or whatever. So this is our start because we don't know anything better than that. But now you will, that's why the whole idea of this presentation is you should know why this is happening, why the myopia progresses. See, usually the emmetropization will happen automatically, right? By the age of 4, 5, the child should have, means he will be plus, then by 4, 5 years, he will be 0. Um, but because of our lifestyle, because of the less exposure to sunlight, uh, and moreover the mobile phones, because actually mobile phone screen doesn't cause any problems. It is the near work that is causing the problem. The accommodation, constant accommodation. Now, accommodation also is not a problem. What happens is when I look straight, more than 6 meters away, the image which is falling is exactly falling on my retina. But whenever I see closer, the image shell which forms, of course, there is a sharp focus on fovea, but the periphery, if you see, there is a defocus. So image is forming. So we call it hyperopic defocus. Hyperopia is focusing behind, myopia focusing in front, right? Everybody knows that. So this is a hyperopic defocus because you don't see clearly there. So it's a sharp focus. It's a defocus. So you'll be learning these two new terms, hyperopic defocus and myopic defocus. Okay, because that is the basis of how the myopia progression or myopia control can be done. So when you put a glass to correct the myopia, this is a single vision glass. This is what is happening. You are pushing that image shell on the fovea, but it is causing hyperopic defocus. So hyperopic defocus sends signal to the brain to grow there. The eyeball will grow in that direction. Of course, when it grows, again, the power is more, you do refraction, you say, oh, the power is increased, so you put another glass with a stronger power, and again you are pushing. So it's a vicious circle. So that hyperopic defocus, we are pushing away, 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 and that's how the myopia progression happens. That's why I said single vision is equal to myopia progression. So you are actually, unknowingly, you are pushing that child into myopia progression. So this, what is the solution? Solution is dual focus. So one focus for the child to see sharp and clear, and peripheral defocus, you have to bring it inside. So to create a myopic defocus. So you need two focuses, like optics. So one for distance and one for bringing that hyperopic defocus to myopic defocus. So that is why we introduced this 360-degree bifocal. Since 2005, pediatric ophthalmologists have been prescribing uh, bifocal lenses with good success. Like, of course, they can control the myopia progression rate. That means if the child is increasing by say -1 every year, it can increase by 0.75 or 0.65, something like that. Because same thing, the bifocal will bring that hyperopic defocus to myopic defocus. Only problem is it is treating only one meridian. It is not hitting the 360 degree, whereas here it is 360 degree. I think you have seen the lens in your hand. So that is the center for a distance, and periphery is plus power. That is for creating a hyperopic defocus. So this paper talks about the gene expression. That is, the natural genes are there which are responsible for the emmetropization of the eyeball. If you don't have a proper exposure, if you are doing too much of a close work, like I said, even that 3-year-old child knows how to play on a mobile phone, right? And parent itself are handing over the mobile phones to their kids, and so that they can eat or keep quiet, right? But that is what is causing the defocus more and the trigger more. So Earl Smith is one of the optometrists, very famous in the research field, animal research. He has done a lot of research on animals, and these are the actual photographs of his research. So this is done on a chicken's eye, and he created some defocus only in certain meridian, like bifocal, only in one meridian, and you could see the progression or the growth of the eyeball in that meridian. Second thing what they did is they cut the optic nerve, thinking that vision is the problem. So even after cutting the optic nerve, the same results were found. So that is where the defocus theory is, established. That defocus is the one which decides or guide the shape of the eyeball. So there are another studies people did then. These are recent studies then, that they used some monkeys. So 10 monkeys and 10. So two sets of monkeys. One set of monkeys, they put +5 diopters of lens in only one eye. The left eye or one eye they kept as a control, so that the one eye which has no distortion or no power will grow as if it's a normal growth, and the +5 I will have a different defocus, and another set of monkeys have -5. What they observed is basically wherever there was -5 diopters, the eyeball actual elongation was more than a normal eye. Same monkey, same eyes, right? So one eye without any distortion, so that will grow as a normal growth, and the -5 diopter eye will grow bigger than the normal. Whereas +5 diopters monkeys, their the defocus eye, that is +5 diopters, did not grow. It actually kind of stopped there, and the natural continued to grow. So that proven that defocus theory is actually effective. And there are a lot of if you go on my website, there are all the papers are there, references are there. You can go and study those in detail if you want, or you can go on pubmed.com, pubmed.gov.co. So you will have a lot of research material available there. So these are about 165 genes responsible for the eye growth or complications of eyes. And this is the actual slide of a elongated eye. So this is about 26 millimeters of elongation. So you can imagine the stretch and stress causing, and angle closure will be there. So because of the shape change, what we are going to get is early cataract. See, cataract can happen at the age of 70, no problem, right? But if it happens at 50, 55, then there is a issue. Glaucoma, cataract, at least now we have a lot of good techniques. It can be restored. The vision can be restored. Glaucoma is a life threatening. All whole life he has to continue on medicine. And if you have seen, not many people are compatible with glaucoma control or glaucoma management, because people forget to take medicine, and then suddenly and it's a silent killer. There is no pain, no nothing. So slowly their vision keeps on going down. Myopic maculopathy, retinal detachment. Now retinal detachment, retinal surgeon will do the surgery and fix the retina, but what about the vision? Vision doesn't get restored like a normal. So that is, a very severe issue. And this can happen at the early age. See, if it is happens after 70, then we can consider, okay, it's like a natural thing. But if it happens at the age of 50, 55, when you are at the top of your life, family, work, everything is all settled, and suddenly you have a vision problems. So this is what I'm talking about. This is the future, which is going to be real problematic, and the solution for that is now. When the child is, at a growing age, you can do something. These are some of the statistics. So usually -5 above is high myopia, less than minus. So our aim is to control the myopia less than 5. If it is less than 3, then it's okay. It's not much of an actual myopia. So if you can say about -6, the having a cataract at early age is about 3.1 times. If it is more than -6, it is 5.5 times or more. Same thing for the glaucoma. Here, this is the problem. Retina and maculopathy is 126 times or 40 times, which is really staggering numbers. And that means you can assure that if you have -6, you're definitely going to get retinal detachment. It's that serious. So I compare that to cigarette smoking. About 20 years back, nobody knew the harms of cigarette smoking, but now everybody knows you cannot smoke cigarette inside the house. There is a warning sign on the cigarette pack itself that it can cause stroke, it can cause cancer, it can cause cardiovascular diseases. So there is awareness, and you know, soon there will be what I'm seeing is maybe down the line about 10 years there will be signs that single vision glasses is not allowed for children. That will happen like a standard of practice, because once you know this is happening, then of course there will be more awareness and more rules will be there. Right now I am at a very early stage. Of course, this theory of defocus and myopia progression is there since last 10 years, but now it is getting into reality because now we are finding solutions for that. As I said, 2005, pediatric ophthalmologist was prescribing atropine and bifocal lenses because they knew this can control. But now, because of a lot of research and a lot of like lenses like orthokeratology, so multifocal soft lenses, and now these 360-degree lenses, there are another 3 companies who are already having similar kind of design on peripheral defocus in the market. So it is becoming more and more available, and there are risk factors for myopia. Not all children will become myopic by doing close work, but if there are some risk factors like one parent myopic, both parent myopics, generations of myopia, at what age the myopia onset happened. So all those things are risk factors, and that you should know. We have in the latest slides, I'll talk about it. We have this Chawan Maskati Jethani myopia risk factor calculation. So there, all the risk you give one points, not 1 point, some different points, and then you add it. So you know whether that child is high risk, low risk, or medium risk. So I consider that risk as a slope. A child is in a car without a brake, and it depends on how you know large, big is the slope. He's going to come faster and faster. Okay, just in layman's term. Okay, and if you want to stop it, you have to put a brake. So to put a brake by optical defocus systems, you can do that. And if you don't, then it will keep on increasing. So you have to talk with the patients, get the history, and understand what category of risk is there in that particular child. So same thing, using that defocus theory, we have these options: simple bifocal, crypto bifocal, executive bifocal, or progressive additional lenses. Because regular bifocals have a smaller zone, or it is commercially driven. Progressive addition lens is not that good because it is slowly progressing, but it is available. It can sell for a more cost, so it became popular. Uh, Bifocal lenses were there for presbyopia, but for presbyopia, multifocal lenses have a center near and periphery distance. For myopia control, what you need is a center distance and periphery near. So there are a lot of soft multifocal lenses available in market now for myopia control. Orthokeratology is my favorite subject, and I love it. I've been doing that uh, since many years. That time when I started orthokeratology in about 2003, 2004, we were using this for cosmetic reasons. You know, those people who are not interested in doing LASIK, we used to do this. And incidentally, there is one Dr. Rekha in Salem. She's ophthalmologist, but very large practice of contact lenses. When I brought this technology, that time, like I'm doing now, so, I started teaching also. Like, okay, this is what the new technology is. So we have invited few like 12 ophthalmologists and trained them how to fit ortho-K and all. And one of that, of course, a lot of ophthalmologists are still practicing, but surgeons are surgeons. They are interested in surgery. But this is a good option. So coming back to this Dr. Rekha, one like after 2 3 years, so I used to supply lenses to her. Like I'll import it for my US contact labs and then I'll sell them. So in about 2 3 years, she called me, Chandrasekhar, this one particular child number is still increasing. I said, what you're talking? No, no, all my rest of the children's are not progressing, but this particular child is progressing. Did you do something with the lens? Is there any problem? And this was a new to me. I said, madam, I never gave you this lens for myopia control. It was for a cosmetic reason. No, no, no. All my children, the number is not increasing. Only this particular child is increasing. That is where my mind started. That something is there. So I started digging into the research papers. Same thing. Like you can also dig into research paper. PubMed.com, PubMed.gov.com is the website. You can go and type anything that you want, and you will see some. If there are any published papers, you will see that. So I started digging into that. Uh, that time orthokeratology was still like a questionable because not many people were doing. Of course, China has picked up a lot, so even today you will see a lot of papers coming out of China, and they have used this ortho-K for myopia control very effectively. Why ortho-K works more effective than multifocal soft lens or progressive? Because that reverse zone gives +6 diopters or more plus power. So myopic defocus. You're trying to bring that signal inside. So that is why ortho-K works. So you have to have a combined approach for myopia management. Ortho-K or multifocal soft lenses, time outdoor. You can have atropine, healthy living style, healthy food habits. So all this has to be considered for myopia management. But most important, which is going to work, is a myopic defocus. So you have to bring that peripheral hyperopic defocus to myopic defocus. So this is one of the research papers. They compared all the modalities of vision correction and which is effective. So single vision gas permeable contact lens is not effective. Undercorrect. Previously they used to do undercorrection. I don't know whether you do undercorrection still or not. Uh, huh? under correct. So that is not correct. So you have to give full correction. Okay, under correction doesn't work. In fact, the child will have doubt. So that is the trend. This is not now. We have been doing full correction since last 50 years, 20 years. So, but I have seen, because I have been traveling in different parts of India, and I found that they still do 0.5 under correction. Don't do 0.5 under correction. Give full correction to myopic childrens or even adults. Of course, you have diochrome test, so exactly you know where you are, whether it's a over correction or under correction. Okay, give full correction. Outdoor timing is important till the onset of myopia. That is, we always say 2.5 hours of sunlight exposure is important, or daylight exposure, but that is only till the onset. If the child is spending more time outdoors or have a natural light resources in his living area, then the myopia triggeration or onset will happen at a later age. Even if there are genes and history of myopia in the family. Executive bifocal, there was a very good paper, and that showed that 39% myopia control happened with executive. Orthokeratology works fantastic. In my experience, it's about 80 to 90% myopia control, and it will control the axial length elongation also. During that executive bifocal research, they never looked at the axial length, but they just saw the refractive error. Bifocal contact lenses, there are a lot of research on bifocal, multifocal soft contact lenses, and it definitely shows myopia control as well as axial length elongation control because of that myopic defocus happening. And of course, atropine. So 0.01% atropine is easily available now in India, and it has been routinely prescribed. It works fantastic. More the strength of atropine, it controls more, but there is a problem of dilatation also. So you have to decide how you want to approach to that. We want to make our kids stronger, not their glasses stronger. So another research paper showed that the age is important. Early onset of myopia means high myopia. Okay, so if the child gets a myopia at the age of 4 or 5, then he will definitely cross -5, -6, -7, because you know the age is main critical factor. If the myopia onset happens after the puberty, then sometimes it can be controlled less than -3, -5. But if it happens before the puberty, definitely the child is at very high risk. So this is the paper. You can go into detail and study. This is very famous contact lens, multifocal soft contact lens in the US market by Cooper Vision, My Sight. So it claims about 59% of myopia control. Okay, still it is not more than 70 or 80%. It's 59% average myopia control. They have a design where they have a center distance, then a ring of plus, then again distance, then a ring of plus, like that. So this is their design. So about 25 to 72% myopia control. So average about 59% control they are claiming. These are some other soft contact lens manufacturers in the US have a similar kind of a design in their lenses where they can get a defocus control. You can actually design your lens also with this company called Specialized, and you can actually control how much distance you want for the distance zone and how much add power you want. So this can be customized. Of course, when you customize anything, the cost is more, but this is more to your, like a deciding what exactly you want for that particular patient. All those previous lenses which I talked about has the same design for everyone. That's why they're controlled from 25% to 72%. If you can change that add power depending on the child's risk, then you may get a better control. So these are all the multifocal soft lenses available in the US market, and none of them are more than +3, and that is the limitation. It works, but that is the limitation from my understanding. That's why Orthoke works better than multifocal soft lens, because it has more plus power at the periphery. Another problem with soft lens is it doesn't come in toric power as of now, so only spherical. So you have to do a spherical equivalent and prescribe. So this is how the multifocal soft lens works. Uh, we are also introducing MyoKiddo multifocal soft lenses in India because we understand all the products which are there in the market are not more than plus 3. So our product will have plus 5 diopters of peripheral defocus. Why? Because there is another study I'll talk about, which talks about what is the minimum power required to create that myopic defocus. So orthokeratology, again, it works fantastically. During your teaching program, maybe Abhijit will be teaching you about orthokeratology. So I'm not going to go much into detail, but basically it's a reverse geometry RGB lens. When you wear it in the night, it reshapes the epithelium by push and pull technique. It's like orthodontistry. You know, the kids, you put some rubber bands and wires, and you can change the shape. So here, the shape is changed within 6 hours. If you are wearing a ring, you'll see that tissue there is compressed. If you remove it, then within sometimes it will come back to. Or when you get up in the morning, you will see the impression of your pillow. So the same technique is used for changing the epithelium of the cornea with whatever the desired shape. So it is only 50 microns. Same technique is used for LASIK. In LASIK, of course, they destroy it. Here we are just pressing and pulling and creating an artificial lens, and that will correct the refractive error. So these are the companies available in the US market making the ortho-K lenses. Basically, it has multi curves. Center curve is for for the refractive error. It has a sound, so that's why it is taking. I'll use this mode for some time. So second is the reverse curve. Whatever the tissue is placed here, so to create a myopic lens, you want like this, right? So that is the reverse zone where there is a suction effect. The cells in that area will get pulled up. In the center, it will get pushed down. So push and pull. And the third is the balancing, the alignment curve, and the peripheral curves. So basically, this is what you will be seeing. Uh, I'm sure you're not much familiar with the topography, but bullseye pattern, actual and subjective maps. So that is what you will be seeing on a topography to understand what, because the lens child is wearing or any patient is wearing in the night. So you don't know how it is behaving. So when the patient comes to you, you do a topography and then you realize what changes you have done on the cornea. So this is called smiley face. If the lens was sitting on the top when the patient was sleeping, you will get something like this, smiley face. This is called smiley face. Let us go in the other mode. So this is central island. That means the lens was not pushing properly. So there is a suction. We use this for creating a pressed biopic ortho-K also. Uh, Once you are expert in regular ortho-K, you can play with the design and create a different curves there. Frowny face, the lens was sitting down. This is what we are looking for, bullseye pattern. So when you do a subtractive map, that is the initial map, and then after using the ortho-K lenses, so you use a subtractive map. There is a function in the software, so it will compare both the maps, and you will get a bullseye pattern. So it is clinically proven, reversible, and not a permanent procedure. So whatever pattern you are getting there, for a normal myopia correction, you want about 6 millimeters or 6.7 millimeters of that clear zone. So even if the pupil is dilated, they don't find any distortion in the driving or in the night. But for myopia control, you have to change the design and bring it down. So you want about 5.5 mm of the zone so that it creates that this plus power, this plus. So that will give a myopic defocus. So you're actually changing the shape. and you can use software for designing your own lenses. There are Toric ortho lenses also available now, because most of the children nowadays we are finding they have astigmatism. So toric lenses can be prescribed for that. These are the companies which deals in orthokeratology lenses. So you can have your own design. Now considering myopia progression, you have to have more stronger plus ring. So we call it a plus power dose. Okay, like you give any medication, you say 1 gram, 5 gram, 10 gram. So it's a dosage, right? Depending on the severity of the complication, you decide the dose. Same thing, depending on the myopia risk or the chance of increasing myopia, then you can decide how much plus power you want to give, plus 4, plus 5, plus 6, like that. So whatever idea I got patented is from the orthoke understanding, because it has been proven, we have been already practicing, and we know that you can actually control the shape of that reverse zone and create plus power, whatever you want, and that will give a myopic defocus. The more the stronger, more the myopic defocus, more stronger is the pull to pull that eyeball inside or put a brake, right? And it's, imagine you are driving a car, okay, and when you put a brake, what happens? All the four wheels get brake, but suppose only one wheel get brake and rest three doesn't get brake, then car is not going to stop. It will reduce the speed, but it is not going to stop. So you have to give 360-degree, like all the four tires has to brake. Same thing in the eyeball, you have to create a 360-degree myopic defocus, then only you can have a guaranteed control of myopia progression. So these are another studies they did in 1 year, how much is the actual elongation happen. So one eye, which is control eye, every year increased by 0.41, whereas with 0.01% atropine, it controlled 0.36, zero point 0.02, 0.29, and with 0.05, 0.2. So the more stronger atropine, more control, right? But the moment you go into 0.05 or 1%, the pupil gets dilated or even accommodation is lost. So that's why you have to go minimum dose. Uh, Same thing with control eye with ortho-K, about zero point 0.2. So ortho-K and atropine is almost same. But if you combine ortho-K and atropine, you're getting 0.09. So which is almost like you're stopping the growth. So you have to do a combination of therapies depending on, again, what is the risk factor, how much is the myopia started with. So different dosage are available, or even 0.01% you can do twice a day, like that you can modify, uh, and you can decide how you want to approach that particular child. But most of the pediatric ophthalmologists are routinely prescribing 0.01% for a progressive myopia. uh, This is the calculator which I was talking about, CMJ, that is Chawan Maskati Jethani myopia risk calculator. So there are risk factors. So you give, add one point for whatever that risk factor is, taking the history, and then I'll give one copy of this to you. You can circulate, or I will give it on the link on the WhatsApp, and you can circulate. It's everybody should use this. You can even incorporate that into your routine history taking sheet, so that once you know the risk factors, then you can decide how to approach that particular child. So start early, consider parental myopia, time outdoor, close work, how much is the distance of close work. Okay, that also matters. Try to keep as away as possible. Lighting condition is more important when child is doing a lot of studies. See, most of the people we have seen, those who are more studious have somehow got the glasses, right? What happens is they work in the night. Okay, during the day, whatever they do, but in the evening, they do extra study. People like us play on, watch Netflix or something, but the studious people will take a book and start reading. So in the night, rest of people are sleeping or they don't want disturb. So you have a very small, table lamp or less illumination, and that is the cause of myopia progression. Even they did one study in some medical college, I think DY Patil, first year medical students, and they found 65% students are myopic. Because of course, to study for medicine, they have to study more, and that's how they got myopic. So close work is definitely related. Less illumination is important. It's related for myopia. So start early. The moment you realize the child is myopic, you can start taking some measures. That is dual focus theories. Control, but you have to measure also. You have to maintain. So you take K1, K2, cycloplegic refraction, and axial length, because we are worried about axial length actually, not the myopia. Because after 22, you can do a LASIK and correct the myopia, but axial length you can't correct. Whatever the damage has happened, it has happened. So you have to monitor the axial length also. And whenever you find you want more control, you can do a dual therapy. That is, you combine with atropine. Dual focus with optics, and you add atropine to that. As we saw in the previous paper, with combined therapy, you have very more like 0.09 mm of growth per year. So that is more controlled growth. So the light is basically, it's a combination of electromagnetic waves, different wavelengths, lumens. How much strong is the light? So that matters. This is a one software which is available online free, again from Brian Holden Vision Institute, where you can put in the child's age, the prescription, and what kind of myopia control you are doing for that child. And it will tell you when the child is at 18, what will be the estimated power. So this is easy for us to convince the parent. If you don't do anything, this will happen. And if you try, say, bifocal spectacles, then it will show how much is the control. If you try orthoke, how much is the control, like that. So you can use that to convince the parents if you want. Of course, healthy living style is definitely important. Fruits, we always say eat rainbow. Rainbow means all the colors. You have at least three to four colors of fruits you must eat in the morning for it will not only eyes but for general health, right? Outdoor exposure. Nowadays I find people, even you guys must be doing the same thing. 4 or 5 people sitting in a group, but you are not talking. You are talking on a mobile phone. You are sending messages, right? So that is become a lifestyle. Can't help it. But now that this is going to cause problems, so limit that. See, if you just take the phone away from someone, you are asking for fight. Okay, even if it is a child, he'll going to cry and shout and make drama. So limit it. So what I say, okay, use only for say 1 hour during the day. So you can use 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, or 25 minutes, or half an hour, 2 times, something like that. So try and control that, but spend more time outdoors. Lighting condition I was talking about, have more lights in the room, keep the distance, keep a habit. If you have seen myopic child, they will go like this, like they go try to go close to the uh, reading subject. So try to limit that, and of course try to limit your pizza, burger, and other. These are processed food. Processed food has a lot of problems, and that's why and latest age we are finding a lot of issues with cancer and other things. So control the. You cannot say no because that's everywhere. McDonald's is everywhere. So and you only have made a habit of celebrating in McDonald's, celebrating in Pizza Hut, okay? Because it's a different food than our regular thing, and anything foreign you love. So, but you can control it. So, in summary, bifocal, progressive, or 360 addition lenses give something. I'm not here to sell my product. I'm just here to educate you. Okay, so try and give some kind of a correction. Don't give single vision glasses. Give some kind of a dual focus theory, whatever is affordable. If the parents are affording, then go for orthokeratology. If not, go for a multifocal lens, soft lenses, or spectacles. Spectacle is easy because for the age of 4 to 12, no parents are comfortable putting anything in the eye. So because they have to take care of the lens, they have to put it, they have to take it out. Spectacle anyway they are going to use, so use 360-degree bifocal. If they can't afford 360-degree bifocal, give executive bifocal, progressive addition, or simple cryptop bifocal, easily they can afford. So try and give some kind of a optical dual focus optical therapy. Encourage them to spend more time outdoors, increase their healthy habits, food habits, and indoor lighting conditions. Okay, so these are the lenses available: executive bifocal, progressive addition, D bifocal. I'm sure nobody has seen D bifocal. Maybe you can pass on these two. So this is how the double D. It's a two. The add power is on the top as well as down. So that is basically a professional spectacle, especially pilots and other people will use it. I use it to see when I want to see close. I'm pressed by. I need to use plus power, right? So I have to go like this. So with these glasses, I can still just bend my head and see through the top portion. This is double D bifocal. So just to reiterate, myopic defocus will control or reshape your eyeball. So there are four major companies who are well known in the optical industry are having the product. The SLR has 360-degree lenslets. So it looks like this. So it has a defocus lenslets and it is 360 degree because you need 360-degree control. So this is their design and they claim about 62% myopia control. This is DIMS, that is defocus incorporated multiple segments. It has a honeycomb pattern and it 9 millimeter to 15 millimeter is the zone that now both lenses are not customizable in the sense that design for myopia control remains the same, whether it's a high myop, low myop, or whatever. That's why their limitation is this lens is available in India. Oh yeah. So 60% myopia control. Okay. Something is better than nothing. So you should give something. Zeiss is still not launched their product, but they have multiple designs, central like 360-degree, only the near segments. So this is one of the papers that actually helped me to come up with this 360-degree bifocal spectacles. What they did on the mice eyes, they use a Fresnel prism, same -5 and +5. So when they use -5, the eyeball started growing faster. But funny thing in this particular paper, what they did is on the same eye, they put +5. And the eyeball started shrinking down. So that gave me, idea that this will definitely have a stronger effect, and that's how we came up with this 360-degree bifocal lenses. This is just in one slide to narrate everything like time spent outdoor, atropine, orthopay, all have a different effect. The single vision is not going to help, or refractive error surgeries is not going to help. So you have to use some kind of a dual focus theory, and MyoKiddo I put at the top because we guarantee 86% of myopia control. Suppose if the child is wearing MyoKiddo lenses more than 6 hours a day, they have to wear regularly as long as they are awake, but at least 6 hours, afternoon to evening is must. Then we guarantee that the progression will not happen more than 0.75 diopters in 1 year. If it happens, then we'll replace the lens. Sometimes it can happen because if the child, as I showed, is going at a very high speed, is already on a myopia progression, and if you try to put a brake, the car won't stop there. It will go a little further away and stop. Same thing, you put a brake, but it will take some time for that myopia to stabilize. But then continue wearing that lens, and it will definitely have a good control. And from the technology or the research and the guarantee of the company is like if it doesn't stop, we'll replace the lenses for free next time. So this is the paper which I was talking about. They did this is a Malaysian sponsored paper did in Saudi Arabia. They tried different multifocal soft lenses and did a peripheral refraction. In this paper, they found that you need minimum +3 diopters to just get a approximation. It is not causing myopic defocus, but it is on the retina. But 3.5 will give a myopic defocus. So the focusing will come little inside. So imagine the inside means you're pulling that thing from inside. So if you have +4, +5, so that means it will have more stronger pull, plus power dose. So more stronger plus power dose. So any soft contact lenses which is available as of today in the market is not more than +3. That's why the control is not more than 60%. So that's where you have this 360-degree bifocal. I say for the age of 4 to 12, but it can be used at the age of 16, 18, at any age. Cosmetically, it doesn't look bad. So you can start, the moment you realize that this is going to help, start it, right? Don't wait for age. This is how the lens, the spectacles looks like. It comes with 65 diameter. It's a polycarbonate lens. It has a UV protection. It has a scratch resistance. It has a anti-glare coating, and you can customize the zone, the distance zone, and the add power. Distance zone you can customize for the age of say 5-year-old child. You can have a 15 for 6, 16 7, 17 like that, up to 20 Don't go beyond 20 So depending on, because it depends on the distance of that spectacle from the eyeball. Okay, usually for adult it is 12 but for children it is much closer. So you have to have that change of the optical zone. And plus power, you can have +4, +5, or +6, mild, moderate, advanced. So while doing that, we introduce one more lens called NIR, that is near infrared. So this is how the patient actually wearing lenses looks like. Doesn't look bad. Cosmetically, it is normal. Uh, this is what I was talking about, 86% success rate. Dispensing is more important whenever you are talking about a specialty lenses like progressive addition lenses. You should actually have a proper centration. Then only that lens is going to work. Otherwise, patient will keep on complaining. So, binocular PD, binocular PD, centration, all these things has to be measured properly. Adjust the pentoscopic tilt, get the correct frame size, not too big, not too small. Adjust the frame according to the face. Make sure that it is comfortable for the child to wear. Measure the proper IPD by ruler or any instrument. Use the myopia risk calculator and understand what is that patient's risk, and accordingly you can decide whether to give +4 or +5 or +6 diopters. Um, Distance zone you can again change from 15 to 20 red light therapy is already used in skin, hair, and cosmetic industry. Uh, what happens? The theory is basically it's near infrared, that is more than 650 microns of wavelength, that will penetrate the body. UV light will not penetrate the tissue, but red light will penetrate the tissue depending on the wavelength, how much deep it is, and they will control that wavelength and decide whether to attack on the fat or on a subdermal level or on a surface. And they have been using this red light therapy for treatment. The red light will stimulate the ATP response. ATP is the molecule that will stimulate, and the mitochondria will be produced more and more. That means more cells will be produced, and that's how it will damage. It will heal the damaged tissue. So using the same principles, we are using this for dry eye treatment. This is the penetration depending on how much is the strength. So there is one particular, this is the my paper came up in the it's an article basically in Myopia CL Spectrum newsletter in the US, because there is a lot of interest on red light therapy, low level red light treatment they're using for myopia control. Also, there is one Chinese paper they have no talked about myopia control. They have in fact come up with a machine where you can give like 3 minutes of red light twice a day. Of course, the problem is if you cross more than 3 minutes, it will damage because it's heat actually. So what I did is I created a special tint on the lens itself, 360 degree. Here you have to give just a +1 or +2, whatever is the. This can be used for age-related macular degeneration. It is not proven yet, but it can be used for retinal issues, RP, or the patient has undergone retinal surgery, detachment surgery. It will help heal. So what happens is you are using mobile phone as a red light treatment therapy with the glasses. So mobile phone has 40 lux of illumination. And most of the time we are spending about 3 to 4 hours on mobile phone. You can check your screen time on mobile phone. You'll be surprised that long you were on the mobile phone. So use that with this red light, and that will not only cut the UV light, but it will have a healing effect on the retina. So that can be given for age 40 and above, also for controlling age-related macular degeneration. So that is again is not yet proven, but it is available now, and we can try. And if anybody of you are interested, you can do research also. Like, take one case, follow it up, maintain all this records, and come up with the scientific papers. So this is a treatment that you're offering. You're not selling a spectacle. You're treating that patient with the MyoKiddo or any other kind of dual focus theory, and try to control their axial length and myopia progression. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Let us have this. I don't know. There is no good sound here. Is there a sound connection? Huh. Shall I go back? I'll start again. One second.